Hello dear student, in Unit 1 Lesson 1 I'm going to talk about prepositions. We have three kinds of prepositions or more. The first of all that I'm going to talk about is preposition of place. Let's see what is the preposition of place. A preposition of place is a preposition which is used to refer to a place where something or someone is located. The first preposition of place we have in. In is used for things, place or someone, for example in the car, in the bag or in the room, and also is used to refer direction, for example in the south, in the north or in the west. For example, there is no one in the room. This is for place. Who is that man in the photograph? Also it's for place. And Hawler is in the north of Iraq. Basra is in the south of the Iraq. The last two examples show for the direction of the prepositions. The second one we have on. For example, on the table, on the desk or on the wall. It is used when something sticks to another. Is used when something sticks to another something. For example, also is used for places. For example, on the left, on the right, or on the first floor. For example, there is a label on the bottle. There is a dirty mark on the wall. Have you ever worked on the farm? Okay, so on is used when something is stick to another things. The third thing we have above or over. It means higher than. When something is higher than something, we can use above or over. For example, planes normally fly above the clouds. There is a ceiling over you. There is a ceiling over you. Okay, so as you see on the picture, when something is above another things. The fourth one we have under or below. It means at a lower level than, when something is below or a lower than something. For example, your legs are under the table. Your legs are under the table. Or a river flows below the bridge. When the river is below, below something. For example, as you see, the ball is under or below the box. So it's called under or below. The fifth one we have at. Is used for places, for example, at school, at home, at the door, etc. For example, children left at the church. Write your name at the top of the page. As you see, the church or the top of the page is referred to a place. That's why we use at. 2 is indicate a destination or a direction. For example, Iran is to the east of Iraq. She went to the library. Okay, so this is called about place or destination. The seventh one we have beside or next to. It means at the side of, when something is the side of another thing. For example, the bank is beside the hotel. The bank is beside the hotel. Or in my English lesson, I always sit next to my friend. In my English lesson, I always sit next to my friend. As you see, the ball is next to the box, or the box is next to the ball. The eighth one we have behind or beyond. In the place where someone or something was before. In the place where someone or something was before. For example, I hung my coat behind the door. Okay, or we can say the car park is beyond the bank. When something is a place someone or something was before. Okay, as you see, the ball is behind the box. So this is when it's something like that, we use behind or beyond. Another one we have in front of. The part of a building, object or a person's body that face forward. When something is forward to another thing, it's called in front of. For example, the teacher stands in front of the students. The teacher stands in front of the students. As you see, the apple is in front of the box. The 10th one we have between is referred to two things which are clearly separated. For example, our house is between the market and the hotel. As you see, the apple is between two things, which are the boxes. So that's why we use between. When it's something between or which is clearly separated between two things, we can use between. The next one we have around, which means in circle. Okay, for example, we are sitting around the campfire. Among, it means certainly in a relation to several other things. Okay, it means more than two or three things. For example, I like being among people. It is more than two people, two things. Okay, The 12th one is by or near, at or to a short distance away. When something a short distance away from each other, we can use by or near. For example, he lives in the house by the river. It means that he can see the river or she can see the river, and the river is away from a short distance. Opposite, facing someone or something. Okay, for example, her house is opposite the supermarket. Her house is opposite the supermarket. As you see in the picture, opposite is mean when two things that are facing each other, we can say opposite. The second type of preposition, we have preposition of movements. Okay, what's the preposition of movements? Preposition of movement show movements from one place to another place. So for this we have through is movement from one side to an enclosed space to the other side. Is a movement from one side to an enclosed space to other side. For example, the baseball went through the window. As you see, the window is enclosed space and the ball went through the window. Okay, as you see, the ball is went to the through the window. The second type we have along is to follow a line. Along is to follow a line. For example, we walked along the road. As you see, this is called along. When we follow a line, we can say along. Past, at the far side of something. At the far side of something. For example, go past the post office. Go past the post office. When you pass something, it's called past. The fourth one we have across is a movement from one side of one area, surface, or a line to the other side. Okay, let's see. I draw a line across the paper. As you see in the picture, across, when you, as he said, I draw a line across the paper from the other side of the paper, from the other side of the paper. That's why we can use across. I draw a line across the paper. The fifth one we have into is to go from outside a space into inside a space. Okay, the cat went into the box. As you see in the picture, the cat is going to or went to the another space, which is the box. The cat went into the box. The sixth one we have toward, gets close to it, when something is close to another thing. For example, the dog is running toward me. The dog is running towards me. Okay, when something close to you or come to you as a straight line, we can say towards. From to, for example, they moved from Kurdistan to Iran. From is used between two nouns. From one place to another place, we can use from to. They moved from Kurdistan to Iran. The other one we have movement is passing something in a curved road, not going through it. Movement passing something in a curved road, not going through it. For example, they walked around the city for an hour. They walked around the city for an hour. For it means for in a circle. The ninth one is up. Movement passing something in a curved road, not going through it. Okay. Down. Movement from a higher point to a lower point of something. And up is a movement from a lower point to a higher point of something, and down a movement from a higher point to a lower point of something. For example, going up the stairs, okay, or going down the stairs. At the first picture, as you see, the first one is going up to the stairs from a lower point to a higher point, and the second one is going down the stairs from the higher point to a lower point. The second type of preposition, we have preposition of time. What are the prepositions of time? Preposition of time allow you to tell your readers when things are taking place. So it helps the readers to tell that when something is happening, it's about time. For example, you have on. On it uses with the days of the week. For example, Sunday, Monday, Friday, or etc. When we have a day, days of the week, we can use on before the days of the week. For example, but also it uses with the dates. For example, October 20, 4th of July, or May 23. 23rd, I mean, sorry. So it's used with the dates and the days of the week. For example, goodbye, see you on Friday. As you see, we have Friday, that's why I use on. Or spring begins on March 21st. Okay, because this in the second one we have date, and in this first one we have days of the week, that's why I use on. The second type we have in. It uses with months, seasons and the years. For example, in 1998, for example, a year, whatever it is, and the seasons, for example, fall, spring, summer, and also just the months, for example, June, July, January, February. And also it's used with the specific time of the day, a specific time of the day. For example, in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the night. For example, we go for a picnic in March. As you see, March here is a month, that's why I use in. We eat breakfast in the morning. It is a specific time. And or she left school in 2006. The third is at. It uses with hours. For example, like 9 a.m., 3 p.m. or 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. When we have a time, hours, we can use at with it. For example, or also it uses with the specific words. For example, like weekend, night, and holiday, and something like that. For example, she has a meeting at 2 o'clock. The stars shine at night. The first one is a time, and the second one is a specific word. That's why we use at. The fourth is during. It uses for a specific time and usually with long times. For example, the day, the night, the summer. It uses for a specific time and usually with long times. Let's see. I study during the night. Okay, it is for a long time. And we had a holiday during summer. Also, it is a long time. I mean, it's mean all the summer. Or another one we have from to. It uses between 2 hours. From, we can say, from 1995 to 2005. We can say it uses between 2 times. Or we can say from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. For example, we had English lesson from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. As you see, we have 2 times, 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock. So we have to use from with 2. She goes to school from Sunday to Friday. Also, it is 2 times.